so we're here with Kragen Lum live.
How you doing?
Well, I guess it's not live for anyone watching.
That's true.
It's live for us, and we've never met in person.
That's right, yeah.
And we've known each other since the early 90s.
90s, yeah. It's been a while.
So I had you on for a full show.
Yep.
And apparently a lot of people did not know you were in Heathen.
Okay, cool. I've been in the band 17 years, but that's good. Yeah.
They know you from Prototype.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let these guys throw out questions to you, because
Sure.
I grilled the hell out of you for 2 hours. So,
Yeah.
Joe?
Well, I asked him a question earlier about the logo of Prototype
And Psychosis.
and why
Yeah.
they look really, really similar.
So Psychosis essentially evolved into Prototype. Jason, who's in Heathen with me now, was in Psychosis with Vince, who was in Prototype. We got a letter in the mail from a Psychosis that was on Massacre Records. And they said, essentially it was a cease and desist letter saying we had to change our band name. So when the band sort of shifted directions and we changed the lineup and stuff, we changed the name, but we wanted to keep the logo similar so that people would see the connection. So that was the purpose of it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's a better band?
They're different. One's a thrash band and one's more progressive. So, yeah.
Okay.
And one sort of exists and one does not.
They both sort of exist.
All right.
Neither one is active per se. I mean, we don't play shows or anything like that, but we are working on a couple of Prototype projects. One is we're remixing the first record, Trinity. And then Psychosis, we actually got the Life Force lineup together to record 6 more songs that we used to play live all the time that never got recorded. And that's, the drums are finished. The drummer's actually an assistant district attorney in LA, and maybe a district attorney by now, I don't know. But he wasn't playing, and he borrowed a drum kit and relearned to play so we could record those songs. So
that's awesome.
That'll come out at some point. It's all those projects are kind of on low heat on my back burner because I'm working on so much Heathen stuff right now.
Yeah. You said during the interview you're doing one thing a year you're aiming for?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately we'd like to, COVID kind of screwed up our plans, but we'd like to have something new every year, whether it's an EP or an album or a single or just something, a reissue, whatever we can do.
And what's next?
For Heathen?
Yeah.
We get home. I have a project I'm working on, which I can't talk about yet, that's going to come out this year for Heathen, that I have to try and finish before we leave for our tour of Europe in August. We're going to the Middle East for 2 shows and then going to Europe. Yeah, we're playing in Dubai and Bahrain.
Okay.
So that'll be the first time we've ever been there. And then after August, I'll come home and continue working on the new record. It already has a title. The songs are all written. I've actually demoed 2/3 of it and sent it to the band. So I just have to finish the last 3 or 4 songs.
So you've written everything for how many records now? 2?
Empire of the Blind, I wrote the whole thing and the lyrics. This new one, I co-wrote a lot of it with Jason, the bass player, and we had some lyric contributions from Dave this time too, so kind of collaborative stuff.
Every album sounds completely different from Heathen.
Yep.
Is this going to also sound completely different?
Yep.
Is it going to be country?
No, it won't be country this time.
Country thrash?
We're not there yet. No, I mean, it's... I think just trying to do something that sounds new and fresh and different and not just repeat stuff. You know, I know a lot of the old school fans just want us to rewrite Goblin's Blade over and over again, but I mean that was in 86 or whatever when it was written, it's like we're not going to go back in time.
There's plenty of other bands writing that type of stuff now too.
There are, yeah. So, I mean, the new stuff, it's still got all the things that you would expect from Heathen. I mean, Dave's voice over any of that stuff immediately sounds like Heathen. We'll have the same crunchy guitars and the melodies and harmonies and stuff like that. we're just gonna try some different things, you know. Yeah. We did that a little bit with the last record, and people responded well to it. It's still streaming like really well. So
Cool.
Some people have a bootleg of it.
yeah, some people do have a bootleg that's autographed now.
We're not going to say who it is.
Really nice person who autographed that bootleg.
Yeah.
What how has this tour gone so far with Symphony X?
Good, actually. The whole reason we wanted to do it was we wanted to play in front of a different audience.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of touring. We did 2 tours with Overkill. We played a couple of years ago. We did a tour with Exodus and Testament in Europe, and you know, we played to the thrash fans, and they kind of know us already. But people beyond that, they might know the name, but they don't know the band.
Yeah.
So with Symphony X, you know, they're very musical, and we have that element, and Dave sings also. So it was really good for us to be able to play in front of their audience. We gained a lot of new fans. People came up and said they'd never heard us before, and that they loved it. So that's why we wanted to do the tour in the first place.
Kind of figured, yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you touring Europe with, them?
No, we're just doing it by ourselves.
Oh,
we're doing
okay.
some festival shows and then headlining shows in between.
Nice.
Yep.
How, go ahead.
Sorry. So doing a show in Dubai, does that take a lot of prep work to be able to like do a show in Dubai?
Not in Dubai, but in Bahrain.
Bahrain, yes.
Yes.
That was my next question.
That one we had to send them a list of what we're bringing, and you know, they have to get visas, and it's a complicated process. But we were lucky that they're 2 different promoters, and they were able to kind of work with us to organize it so we could go from one place to the other and then go to Europe right after. So.
That's great. Dubai is such a beautiful city. Are you looking forward to like experiencing it?
Everybody in the band wants to see Dave on a camel. That's all. That's all they want to see.
All right. We look forward to seeing that too.
I do too.
So do you have a mix of old school and new school fans, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the old school fans obviously like the old stuff, the first 2 records in particular. There's a group of sort of what I would call, I don't know, the thrash revival era, like the 2000s and 2010s when the thrash kind of revived. Like they all know Evolution of Chaos really well. But I think we also made a lot of new fans with the last record. We were fortunate when we were on. I can't remember which tour it was, if it was Europe or the US, but we were on tour with Overkill, and at one point we had one or 2 of our songs in rotation on Spotify with the new Metallica. So people heard us that would never get to hear it, you know. So I mean, those are the kind of things that we are trying to do just to get the word of the band out, and you know, get people to see the band, because a lot of people have come up and said, hey, this is a bucket list band, I've never gotten to see you guys, you know, but I've always wanted to. So that's why we're doing so much touring. We know we have to kind of rebuild our fan base and, you know, let people know that the band is still doing stuff, because there's so much music that comes out every day. I think it was like 100,000 songs a day on Spotify or something. You know, it's hard to break through. I can't even imagine being in a band that's new, you know, trying to break through. So, and you know, just trying to get people's attention, it's hard these days, you know, with social media and everything. You got to be 24/7 on there, doing or saying something. So, anyway, yeah, I think we have a pretty good mix of new and old, and that's a good thing. We don't want to just keep rehashing the old stuff and playing to the same people, because eventually the audience will dwindle. You know, people will get to a certain age where, you know, other things in life become more important or whatever. So
More important than metal?
I mean, not for me.
Right, yeah, of course not. How many of your songs did you work into games when you worked for Activision?
Let's see. I think 3. No, sorry, 4. It was 4. One of them was we got asked to put a song in Guitar Hero 3,
cool,
which was a prototype song, and that's the one song that everybody knows from the band that didn't hear us, you know, through the underground scene.
Right.
And then we had another song from that record. I was producing Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, and I just put it in there. And then we had another one where another producer wanted to put a song from Trinity in there, which was Mind in Motion, and that song we had to take the sample out and remix it because it had all the samples from Dune. The Dune movie
right, that's
there.
right, yeah.
So we had to do a mix without the samples. And then there was a Psychosis song. It was in another Tony Hawk game that somebody asked. I wasn't working on that one, but somebody asked me to put it in there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was the movie you said, or TV show that you said used the Psychosis?
There's been a couple. There's a new one on Amazon, which I can't remember the name of right now, that hasn't aired yet, that's going to have a Psychosis song in it. And then we had New Girl. We had an episode. It was called Kryptonite. I think it was like the second or third episode of the TV series. And then Community. There was a Halloween episode where we took the instrumental version of the song, and we had Bruce, who was the singing for that lineup, sing alternate lyrics. The producers of the show wanted us to have Party with the Devil or something. So I quickly wrote some lyrics, and we had him sing it, and that's what's in the
I gotta go back and watch
episode.
that episode now.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's the Halloween episode of that, whatever that season was.
And that was such a great show.
Yeah.
Lance, you have anything? Oh, okay.
I'm good.
All right.
All right. Questions. There we go. All right, we're good.
It was so in depth. So
That's it?
Yeah.
There's no more questions?
Oh, I'm
How do you
sure.
like working at Nuclear Blast?
I like it a lot, actually. It's a really good crew of people. I've known a lot of them since before I worked there, both in Europe and in the US. So it's been really easy, like seamless transition to work. I've been there, I think, 2+ years now. So
what came first? Heathen on Nuclear Blast, or are you working at Nuclear Blast?
We made Nuclear Blast wait 8 years for a record. I started writing that. We signed with them in 2012, and I started writing right away in 2012, and then I think I had half of Empire of the Blind written by that point already. And then had to wait around until, basically I got sick of waiting, and I talked to Lee and I said, I just want to do this. Can we just do this? He's like, well, you have plenty of material. Go ahead. So.
And that's how you became Heathen.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have a great relationship actually with, Lee and even all the other former members. I'm in touch with all of them. So,
cool.
Lee just is happy that we're able to keep the band going and do it. He's busy with Exodus and can't do both, essentially.
Right.
So
Well, I think in the other interview you said you were basically the caretaker of Heathen at this point.
I am, yeah. I mean, like I was saying earlier to Joe, like, trying to get the rights to the first 2 records back, and making sure that we are able to reissue things properly and all of that. And we can't get the rights to the first record back, so we'll probably just re-record it, and it'll be a modern interpretation of it, with the current lineup probably, but it'll be something where at least the band can finally get royalties from it, because I mean you can only imagine releasing something that you're super proud of, and that at the time I think sold like 60,000 copies, which was a big deal for a Combat Records album.
Oh yeah.
And they had the video for Set Me Free and everything, and they never made any money on the record. So it's just one of those things where it's like,
Do you make much from streaming? Or is it more like merch sales and?
Yeah, we make a little bit, but it's not. I mean, it's not anything to speak of, I mean, it's like a little extra money here and there. Royalties are twice a year in the music industry now, so it's it's not really much, and it's not often, so it's nothing anybody could live off of or anything.
Right. What do you any advice for bands just starting out?
Don't. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew he was going to say that. Like, don't say no.
Just be prepared to work really hard and get frustrated a lot. It is, it's tough to even just to tour, it's tough these days. You know, you play places and they're cutting back on everything, using the economy as an excuse, and you know, it's hard. I mean, that's why bands are touring more than ever, and also why ticket prices are so high and merch prices are so high. It's like that's the only way that bands can make money.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't want to do that. We try to make our prices at least, you know, affordable. You know, we're not making a lot of money on the tours either. We look at like the Symphony X tour that we just did as something to gain new fans. That's why we're doing it. We're trying to. I'm forward thinking, so I'm already thinking about like I want more people to hear the next record when it comes out. I want them to know about the band so that when that comes out, they hear it, and you know, we can hopefully build this 40-year-old band a little bit.
So when you were talking about merch, you sell a lot of you bring vinyl, right?
Yeah, we bring
CDs.
vinyl, CDs,
Cassettes.
No, we didn't. We did make them for Empire of the Blind, but we didn't. We don't have any. They sold out a long time ago. They make such limited quantities.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. T-shirts, you know, wristbands, patches.
So do you sell more vinyl or more CDs now?
Honestly, more CDs on this tour.
Yeah, I heard the CDs are really making a comeback.
Yeah, more CDs on this tour. I got there's a system called @Venue, which bands go and they use to report their sales to what used to be called SoundScan. And I do that while we're on tour and report our sales so that it gets registered and all that stuff. But CDs more so than vinyl for sure. I think we had like 30-something vinyl records. We still have a handful with us, but I had to reorder CDs.
Yeah,
we had
That's
50,
cool.
and I had to order another 50 or whatever it was. You know, so I think it's kind of cool. I mean, to me, that's the best format anyway. I'm not a vinyl guy.
Hashtag bring the CD back.
Yeah. It's the one that sounds the best and has the best frequency spectrum.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
Some people love vinyl, but it can't produce the high and low.
You'd like to look at vinyl. Comes in pretty colors.
Well, most people that buy vinyl don't actually own a record player. It's just
I own 3.
I can't put vinyl in that car right there. I still take CDs. In
Right.
the car.
There you go, yeah. There you go.
But it's so pretty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're very
again.
welcome. Very welcome. Thanks for having me on the show.
And where do people find all stuff, you and Heathen?
Heathen stuff is if you go to shop.heathenthrash.com, that will take you to our big cartel store redirect. We have all of the stuff we have available. There will probably be some more stuff added when I get home, whatever we have left from the tour.
Cool.
And then I have my other store is shop.sublevelrecords.com that has all my guitar books and the prototype stuff and you know, any Psychosis.
You put out a new guitar book recently, right?
Two. There's a new prototype guitar anthology and also a new Heathen guitar anthology.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.